I want to focus in on what Shopify is doing with meetings, though, because I do think this is interesting. So Shopify coming out with a new meeting cost calculator and essentially calculating how much the company is losing based on how many people in a meeting and how long the meeting is. So part of this calculator shows that if it's a 30-minute meeting and there's 3 employees in that meeting can cost Shopify anywhere from $700 to $1,600. Now, when you add in an executive into that meeting, so now you have 3 employees and an exec for 30 minutes, that's costing Shopify more than $2,000 to run this meeting. And it's getting into the are there too many meetings discussion. Are these meetings valuable? I see Pras shaking his head. He looks like he doesn't want to be in a meeting.
Yeah, no, I love this idea. I think it's fantastic. People are inundated meetings. It kind of just you get just knocked out by meeting after meeting. It can't get work done. This is a fantastic idea. Show the true cost of what's going on here from your time point of view. I mean, people like Elon Musk, he would walk out of a meeting if he didn't think it was productive. Jeff Bezos has a 2 pizza rule, right? Where essentially, if there are more people than 2 pies could feed, meeting's too big, it's not going to be efficient. What are we doing here? And this is another way of kind of showing that why are we being so inefficient with meetings? Kind of like. It's just too much. I think it's too much. I'm going on the soapbox here. I love this idea by Shopify.
I love it too because it places a value on the meeting as well, right? If you're seeing this meeting is costing the company upwards of $2,000 or more, you better make sure that you come out of that meeting learning something or knowing something or developing some sort of strategy and having a solution for why this meeting happened in the first place. And I think everyone in the corporate world is in agreement that by and large, there's too many meetings. But I do think more recently, companies are trying to correct that narrative. And it's because of executives like Elon Musk kind of setting a new precedent for what meetings could and should potentially look like.
And I think it's interesting, though, too, when I love seeing things like this where you can kind of, in a box, it still doesn't quite make sense, right? Where one meeting is probably more valuable than another meeting. And I'm curious how, if other companies were to adopt this strategy and actually have a calculator, how do you add in that variable, right? For instance, a live television show has a morning meeting every day.
Right, that's
every day. That probably has
valuable.
10 people in it, and you probably have to have it. But when you use a calculator, that's very expensive. So how do you sort of parse through what is worth it and what is not worth it based on what's happening in the meeting? Feels like a pretty big variable here, when people might right now just be looking at that bottom line number and being like, they told me not to spend $2,000 on a meeting and I'm doing it.
I think it's what comes out of the meeting, right?
Yeah.
Like at the morning show meeting, you get a lot out of that. So that's worth that amount of money.
Right.
Other types of meetings, you leave being like, that could have been an email.
Maybe in the margins you can say, do I need this status update? Do I need to talk about our KPIs? Do we need that stuff? So I think you're right. Like a morning show meeting, sure. But late afternoon, want to get some work done? I don't think so.
Yeah.